Good afternoon, race fans. Welcome today at the races. A little delay of game today here,
Yes.
Keith, here at Laurel Park. Keith Fustel, Tim Tulloch. We moved post time back to 1:50, about an hour from now.
Yep.
We're getting through the hottest part of the day. It starts to cool off after that.
Absolutely. We use, what is it, the wet bulb thermometer?
Yeah,
or there's a little technology
yes.
involved here in making the decision. You probably know a little bit more about it than me, but yeah, I just know it's a little steamy, so we're going to let things cool down a little bit before we get this card started. Friday card, we got a good weekend ahead of us, a couple steaks, so looking forward to it, no doubt.
Yeah, it's just a system that combines humidity and temperature, wind speed, all of that, and the worst part of the day was going to be between 12 and about 1:40 this afternoon. So it gets a little bit better. It's already feeling a little bit better,
no doubt,
to be honest with you, than it did about 20 minutes ago when we got out of the truck. So we're going to have a good day of racing here this afternoon, a good day of racing tomorrow. We came off a big weekend last week, Keith. Those 5 stakes, they were a lot of fun, but we've got the Turf Sizzler stakes tomorrow.
Yeah, 3-year-olds on display. Boys and the girls got the Bald Eagle, changing things up a little bit. A mile and 3/16 is going to go to that second wire. Yep. So as you said, we're going to have a little talk with the riders. It's a little different. This race, if we look back, I was talking to Robin, I believe it was a mile and a half. I knew it was a long race. But now we're going to go back, mile and 3/16, second wire, searching, really good, competitive field. Deep field. Tough to separate. I think I've got like a tepid 3-1 morning line favorite with Vergara from the inside. But quality groups abound here for these stakes. I love it. Love the turf racing at Laurel Park. We provide a really good opportunity for some big value, some quality horses on display.
And some other nice races on tomorrow's card, good races on today's card. Let's see. Let's talk about the food trucks. We love the food trucks, and they're coming Saturday, August 20th, 12 to 6 p.m., free admission. This is a family food truck family day festival here at Laurel Park. More info, go to laurelpark.com. And it's August. This is our first weekend of racing in August for 2022, and that can only mean one thing that's around the corner, and that is the State Fair as we move our meet to Timonium starting Friday, August 26th. We'll run Friday, Saturday, Sunday that week, and then we'll come back for 4 days over Memorial Day weekend. Last thoroughbred racing fair east of the Mississippi, but still a great time.
Enjoy it. I mean, I grew up at that place. Cashed a lot of tickets when I was 5-6 years old at Timonium with the help of Dad and Mom and all the other degenerates, Uncle Jerry, Brother Ernie. I mean, I miss all those guys. We had so much fun at Timonium. Bring in the beer. I mean, I'd be like 15 driving the car home. But don't rat me out. Taking everybody home, you know.
The statute of limitations has run out on that.
It was good stuff back in the day at the Big T. Right up. I look forward to it every year. Condition book, I believe, is now out, if I'm not mistaken.
It is a great picture on the front of it.
Okay.
But, it is. Same thing with me growing up in New England, where we had the half-mile fairs, and then went from town to town. That's where you got started in racing, where I got started in racing. A lot of people got started in racing. They come there as a kid. They have a good time. They get their old man to bet $2 on a 3 to 5 shot, and they're happy.
Oh, we were happy. Just hang up all the way at the top. That's where you could find us.
That's where you go.
Yep.
There you go. Let's get started with today's card. We're going to start off with the racetrack as fast, the turf course as good this afternoon. The temperature about 85. And fair skies, but it's already there's a breeze going through here now. We're in good shape.
There's no doubt. And it was a big difference just in a matter of a half an hour from me walking in and then coming back out to the set. Yeah, definitely noticeable difference here. I think we made the right move, and we're all set. Fast and good. We'll let you know if there's any changes. And, how we go. What do we got for the opener?
Let's get this party started. This is a maiden event. 3, 4, and 5-year-olds going 3/4 of a mile. Maiden claiming price $45,000. We'll start with your top pick. This is a 4 General Strike for Kieran McGee. Make the rider Jaime Rodriguez. Jaime Rodriguez rides the 4 General Strike. Let's start with a video from his race from May 7th at Oaklawn Park.
Yeah, May 7th at Oaklawn. This is second off of a little bit of a break. First time blinkers. The blinkers. This guy had already a little bit of natural speed. He battles to the inside a long way. Puts up a buyer that's, if he kind of comes close to that, should win the opener here. Stays on with it. It looked like he was kind of fade away a little bit, but comes battling back to the inside at Oaklawn. Like this effort. And what you're going to have here is Kieran McGee is really hot right now. I mean, he's been steady year in and year out. But he's on a tear. We've got a little stat we're going to show you here over the last couple weeks. What do we got here, guys? We can run it up. How about this? The last month, I'm sorry. 10 for 22, 45%, 15 for 22 on the money with his dirt runners, ROI of 331. And look at this little tidbit. Off the claim, because this guy's going off the claim, right?
Yes,
he's
he is.
4 for 4 through that time frame. So there you go. Lots to like. Obviously, the public is on it right now. It's way early at 3 to 5, and this horse is going to stay a shorter price. Scratch the one. His other horse he entered Take Charge too.
Couple works up there at Pimlico since that June 18th try at Churchill Downs, where he didn't run terrible that day, running third, but got pretty soundly beaten. My top pick in here is the 5-1 America. This is the second time for Claudio Gonzalez. Ran him on the turf first time out. Ran a lifetime best that particular day under J.D. Acosta. J.D. Acosta returns today, and he's getting first-time dirt with Claudio.
Yeah, and we saw Claudio's horse, this Smarty John. Okay, Take Charge 2 ran against him last time. Whistled here up from Churchill for Claudio in the change of barn. It's kind of a key. Smarty John was out of that race a couple races back with our favorite, with Kieran's horse. Right. So you're seeing he can bring these horses up from Churchill, tweak a few things, change the style. This horse closed into, after a little bit of a slow start, closed into a loose leader. Back to the dirt, I think you're going to see some improvement right. If things get kind of hot and heavy and Grand Manor shows that speed and wants to go with General Strike, might set things up nicely for One America.
The 3 Addies, Laddie TNT for Henry Walters, second off a layoff. This is one that both you and I have a little interest in. Gets back on the main track, a fast main track. That's key. And you look at his 2 races over a fast main track last fall and early winter. They're pretty good efforts.
I think the fact you've got Toledo staying might be a little bit of a tell. So showed a little bit of ability. I think he's going to be better suited back to the main track. Another one that wants a little bit of pace flow, maybe contested as well up front to make that run. Grand Manor, bigger guy. He's down inside. He showed speed last time. Just hooked a killer. He's back inside again. It'll be interesting to see the tactics that Gomez takes in that first eighth of a mile with the speed of General Strike to his outside. I think he's a horse that can rate. I think he can make a little bit of move into it. Can he sustain through that last eighth of a mile? Is the major question.
With the scratch of the 1, though, he's on the fence. He has shown some gas. Has a real sharp work coming in here, 47 and change. Keith and I very similar in race 1 that kicks off the early pick 5. Race 2 starts the early pick 4, and as always, Keith, you put together a ticket. Let's check out how you played it.
Yeah, I had to keep it. I was talking to Vinny Perone a little bit this morning about ticket. We were maybe going to attack the pick 6. We'll talk about that later with the carryover, but hard to find a real single. So, I did find one here in the third with the 1 hop picker. I would like to throw the 2 in as a price as well, which is going to make that ticket 48. But 24, I'm going to keep it reasonable. 3 deep to get you going, 249, Golden Decision, Dundalk off the break, and Mokeef will single hop picker in the third. Race 4 and 5, we spread 1, 2, 3, 4. Lots of ways to go. 1, 3, 6, 8 in the fifth. Competitive fields abound. $24 is that ticket.
$24 to kick off the early pick 4 as we move to race number 2 for 3-year-olds and up. We start for a claiming price of $8,000 in their last 3 starts, or claiming price $12,500, going a mile and a furlong on the turf rail set at 52 feet. Your top pick in here is the 2 Golden Decision. This is a 7-time winner. Third time for 50% guy and Chucky Lawrence here at Laurel Park. I think we're both on this horse here. More improvement could be on its way. Yeah,
he's 5 for 5 in the money. You go back in his last turf, on all of his 5 turf starts. Good win, off the bench, off the claim. Had a little help up front at Penn, but that was on a yielding turf course. I think this course is going to have a little give to it. We've seen closers be, they've fared well over this course the last few weeks. So I'm not terribly concerned. Dundalk looks like the lone speed, but Golden Decision made a good run last time. Had a little traffic upper stretch at Delaware, shifted out and churned on well. I know he's over 5 at the distance. I think he can get it. The old guy, mile and eighth against this group. I think he's going to be a major player from the quarter pole home.
I have the 3 Daddies Cozy on top for Daniel Huston. Horacio Caramanos gets the call. This is a horse that's coming out of a similar type race, going a mile and eighth in his last start behind the next out winner at Delaware Park. going a mile and 3/8 in the start before that.
Yeah, I was a little shocked. Now, he is 8, that nobody kind of went in. That was a good effort 2 races back against a horse, but Bodie's Maker is a key horse for Ness, who runs in like the lower 90s on the turf, a killer turf horse. Dropped into the condition, got it done last time. Only thing I'd like to see is Yowza, a couple of those horses come back and run a little bit better. I think there's a little tougher field that he's going to catch today. Obviously, we can't leave out Dundalk. Going to go first time for Kenny Cox off of a break. This horse has run well off of a break. He's never been a mile and an eighth on the turf. Turf is going to have a little give to it. He's kind of given up the lead in the past when he's had when he's kind of cruised, but I can't leave him out of the tickets. He's going to go a long way in here.
Goes as a first-time gelding this afternoon.
And a gelding. Yep.
Going, as you mentioned, going 9 furlongs for the first time in his career. He comes in here with recent good works. The mile and an eighth, the long layoff for me. I use him at the bottom of my ticket, but
all right.
There's certainly some questions he's going to have to answer for sure. If he can run back to a lot of those figures, good enough to get the job done here in race 2 to kick off the early pick.
What are your thoughts on that 8 reported first-time gelding as an 8-year-old? That's kind of what situation maybe have led to that? Because obviously, just some physical issues come up late in the game.
Well, sometimes, as our woman and our girl in Santa Anita or Del Mar pointed out, sometimes as the horses get older, their testicles get bigger.
Yeah.
And sometimes horses have just big testicles anyway. They start to cause them pain when they're running and whatnot. It could just have simply been that we're taking a layoff. We're going to have a lot of time just in case there's any complications, because there can be complications in castrating a little bit older horse sometime. But look, if they were causing him a little issue down there, then they need to come out. And why we're keeping him? He's not going on to any kind of stellar breeding career for sure. So hopefully he gets back on the good foot this afternoon.
And that's that.
Then that's that. Just in case you were wondering.
You got it. We're not going to touch that subject anymore.
No. We've had a yes. We're going to leave the next one off. Race 3, main special weight, 70s of a mile. Fillies and mares, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds. Your top pick is the one hot picker. Mine also here. Forrest Boyce does the riding for Shug McGahee. Blinkers go on. Let's look at this race. Race 2 starts to go at Belmont Park from May 13th.
Yeah, this race is pretty good. Mile and 16th prompts the issue, and what we've seen of late, let the public down at 2 to 5, no doubt about it. Is sitting there. Jock is very confidently, past the 3/8 pole and ready to roll, makes the move, but just can't quite sustain. And we've seen this, this move, though. McGahee's been making it of late. He did it with Hoodoo Land. He did it with, Teshian. Yep. These fillies, they've shown the ability, tweaking things up a little bit. Was it Hoodoo Land that got the blinkers the other day? I think it was, and went ahead and won. Finding a little bit softer batch here and trying to get the confidence going. Hot picker, 60 and a 58, the last 2 buyers. Clearly stronger than anything that has run. It's only been a few horses in here that have gone, but I think you're going to see Forrest take those same tactics she's taken with those other 2 winners to go ahead and go to the inside, get the lead, and try to dictate from there. Coming in, a little work on the turf, changing things up a little bit, but one is going to take a lot of play. I think the 2's a sneaky horse, is a long shot. Just off of breeding when I went back and looked. This mare, Lucky Dance. Okay, she's the mom of Catane, Saratoga Bob, who was a Maryland Million Classic winner, I believe, for Katie Boss. So this little change up of surfaces might liven up Saratoga Nosha's performance, just kind of boost that exacta for me.
We also use the 4. I like the 4 a little bit here. Excuse me. The 5 I like a little bit here.
Wow.
That's some kiss. I mean, look, the conditioner's not rewriting the history books for their first-time starters. However, this one has some works in the morning that pick up my head. The 3/8 and 36. Okay, fine, whatever. 5/8 from the gate, 101 flat. Half from July 10th to 48 and 3, and a minute and change June 18th. First-time starter. Those works over this racetrack at Laurel. Those are good drills.
Yeah, late to the races. She's a 4-year-old first, or a little bit late. 3 winning siblings, 1 debut winner, and a really good horse in the mix. I'm sure you got half to still having fun, who only made about $600,000.
Right.
So Kendall, a really, really good racehorse, good sprinter. So, tab the tote a little bit because, like you say, kind of maybe throw the stat out the window for Tim Keith's firsters right now.
Yeah, exactly.
On this one.
Exactly.
Okay.
Race 4 kicks off the Rainbow Pick 6. We have a carryover in the Rainbow Pick 6, $21,934 into today's card. I did do a ticket, a $43.20 ticket, and this is how I play it. 1, 2, 3 here in race 4, this mile event, state bred allowance race. Race 5, I spread in this state bred turf race going a mile. I use the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 8. My single comes in race 6, and I use single on the 8. The Wolfman for Rudy Sanchez-Salomon, the Red Hot Rudy Sanchez-Salomon, Javier Toledo returns with the call. Race 7, 2, 7, and 11, 5.5 furlongs on the grass. Race 8, feature race of the day. This is a 3 other than, going 3/4 of a mile on the main track. I use the part of the entry as my top pick. That is Yodel E.A. Who for Jamie Ness, but also Eastern Bay and Always in a Hurry for Dale Capuano. And I close it out with the 4 and the 5 in race 9, 29,000 and change. Carryover in Rainbow Pick 6 gets started in race 4. Race 4 is for 3-year-olds and upward, restricted Maryland breds, going 1 mile. We run to the second wire on the main track. The 4 is a Cobble Road. This is who you have on top, Keith. The 4, Randy Allen. Just bit off too much more than he could chew in that 2 other than in his last start. But his other races at Parks, look, if he can run back to those races, they work here.
Yeah, I took a shot, a pretty strong shot on May the 1st, and this guy stumbled right out of the gate, lost all chance, was wide. Talked about his next start, out of condition. Now comes back to the right spot. Welling's got a little bit of speed. Rusty G's 550 a little bit. Jason takes long, is out, right? That's the scratch.
Yes.
That's the assist that I needed for this runner for Cobble Road. I want to see Carrasco just go if you break clean. I'm forgiving the last 2. I think he gets back to the 3-back or the 4-back race. He can go ahead and control this at the 1-turn mile.
You certainly can.
Yep.
I have the 1, Dream Big Dreams, on top of 4, Brittany Russell. We haven't seen this one since Maryland Million of last year. Brittany good off this type of layoff, 30%. She brings them back ready. The works look good to me, and getting Sheldon Russell back in the irons.
She's 6 for 18 the last 14 days, was in a little bit of a lull. The ROI of 338. This kind of layoff, 180 days or more, going long on the dirt, 3 for 8. Smaller sample, but pretty good. 3 for 8, 6 for 8 in the money. Dream Big Dreams. I think Welling's going to run a little bit better. Had good position, 3 wide, prompted the pace last time. Just came up a little, I'd say short, but just didn't quite kick on. I think he can get positioned maybe just a little bit further back and spy, and hopefully things get a little bit heated up front and make that run from just off of it.
Well, he certainly throws you a race every now and then.
Yes, he does.
Good enough. But it's just every now and then. You know, so maybe he can come up with that race once again. He was 2 lengths behind the next out winner and second off the layoff this afternoon. We have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk about the second half of our card.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Welcome back to Today at the Races. Keith Fusel, Tim Tulloch, a little bit of delayed post time. First race post about 40 minutes out. Let's talk about race 5. Race 5 kicks off the late pick 5 here at Laurel Park. This race is going a mile on the turf course. 4 restricted Maryland breds, 3-year-olds and upward, and your top pick is to the outside. Oh, actually, we both have the be determined for Suzanne Satinius. Charlie Marquez gets the call. Look, this is a horse who's better than ever at age 5. Has had a really, really good year. 4 consecutive lifetime marks.
Yeah, really, really good. And he's been able to do it with
where
not.
He ran behind.
Yeah. our BB the other day, audacious quality. And, he got it done against a little bit better field. So I'm going to key that up. He's been able to do it, too, without a ton of help up front. He just runs his own race in the back of the pack, kind of like Mokeef used to do. So, I think Be Determined is going to be able to sit, draft in a little bit. Going to need to bring a strong kick, a sustainable kick from the 3/8, because power back from the rail is probably going to get the jump on him at the mile distance, no doubt about it. I think he's got great position. We've got video of power back, right? And Benny Havens was in that race as well, our value play this particular afternoon. That was July the 17th. And look at this. Power back was hammered down from about 9-2 to 2-1 as they left the gates. It did not disappoint. Look at this. Caramanos just with a mitt full of horse to the 3/8 pole. Gets command. He just takes a peek back inside. Now what? To your outside, this was our threat. This was our value play of the day, right? Moving up to the outside, Benny Havens. Benny Havens 3 and 4 wide throughout. If he gets a little bit more cover today, he might be able to turn the tables. I think he's going to, bring another kick here with the X-Man, going to offer a little bit more value. But these two just kind of run away from the field. That was it. So hopefully you were on that and had it that day. I think Powerback does get the jump on my close. I like the way Be Determined is holding form.
Oh, he's really, really holding his form. I have a little like in Crabs and Beer this afternoon. Okay. Last time going a mile, he ran a life best. He was behind Joe in that stake on Preakness Day. He came off 2 consecutive sprints and fired that life best, beating 2 lengths to Joe. Exactly what's happening today. 2 consecutive life sprints, one on the dirt, one on the turf. Jamie, very, very good with that move, 41%, plus he's 32% when he goes from a sprint to a route. So I like Crabs and Beer, and we might get a little bit of a price.
Oh, yeah. I might have some of that tonight.
Afternoon. Yeah, why not? Yep. Summer's almost over, Big Daddy. We better get in now.
Get it when you can get it.
They didn't bring the plate for us when we had the crab feast here.
I kept looking every race. When's it going to come up to the set?
Just left us hanging. There we go. Race
Ball
6.
4, take a walk, as Johnny Shapiro used to say. That's it. All righty.
Starter nickel, 3/4 of a mile, kicks off the late pick 4. This race is a pretty nice race. Both you and I have the 8, the Wolfman, on top. Look, this one's dropping back to a level where he's been successful before. I love his draw on the outside. Plenty of speed down toward the inside. He can just get a clean trip and come running.
That's the key with this guy. And a little hiccup at the break last time. You see it in the short note. Awkward start 3 wide into a really solid field. Synergy Star did not come back and run as well as I thought he would in the stake. But lo and behold, that was a good race, a fast race. Perfect position. You can trust this guy. I mean, sans the couple turf races that he's thrown. Those dirt sprint, they're very, very good. And you talked about the speed that's going to be able to spy up front. Bernie's on fire, Rockefellers, Otis. I think he just drafts in and sits a perfect, just sits in the catbird seat around the turn and tries to strike. And he can grind it out. He was against the grain, grinding it out on the 24th that day to get it done.
How about Rockefellers? The old boy just keeps showing up. I mean, his last 5-6 races have been really good efforts. Only one winning effort that day, one time March 7th over Sloppy Racetrack. But he makes some work for it. He
does, Tim. And last time out of that 7/8 race, 24-47, like pedestrian-like a pace that let the other horses kind of stay close. That's not his game. He's going to want to go ahead and be used even harder in this first quarter of a mile because he's going to have to deal with Bernie's on fire, see what he can do with him to his inside. If he can put him away, he's going to have to brace for the challenge of the Wolfman. Even Otis, kind of the stranger here coming in for a jockey I'm not familiar with. Alan Bedard doesn't run a lot in Maryland, but we have his last race at Parks, and it was kind of a eye-catching little run from just off the pace at 5.5. You're going to watch this. And no fooling duty, you go back into PPs, does key up with some of these horses. But Otis, just under, extremely confident handling here past the 5/16 to the quarter pole. And Ocasio says go, and he really responds. So he's got to stretch it a little bit more. This was a condition 10. It's a little tougher spot. Can he pair the race up? That's what I'm concerned about. I think he's going to make a move into the flow, but can he hang with a horse like the Wolfman breathing down his throat from the quarter pole home? We're going to find out. He's going to have to bring his best shot.
I mean, he's going to have to bring his best race.
Yep.
He's going to have to run back at least to that race that we just saw.
Yep.
Probably anything not close to that's probably not going to be good enough, but certainly need to take him into some consideration. Race 7, now there's a 2 lifetime, 16,000 going 5.5 furlongs on the turf for 3-year-olds and upward. And look at this. Both you and I have the 2 Eleazar on top for Jamie Ness. Jaime Rodriguez gets the call. This is my price play of the day, 4-1 on the line. Getting back to the turf. He hasn't seen the turf since June of 2021 when he ran his very best race and got the job done at first asking.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
Go ahead.
Oh, you go.
Oh,
you know what's
he's
more.
off 296 days. Right, first-time license. Horse is out of there. That race was okay on the go back. Kratos came back to run second recently in allowance. FOMO was in there. He's been competitive against a little bit better. So the field stacks up. Question is the drop, but the works look good. I think he's an all or nothing type in here, but I like his positional speed. I think he's going to be fresh, be able to sit that stalking trip, maybe a pocket trip around the turn, sit inside and angle out for the drive. But a little staff for Ness. This is going kind of goofy. The last 5 years off of these 250 to 350-day works. So the formulator can kind of give you that. He's 4 for 15, 9 for 15 in money on these turf races. So it works for me. The barn's just got to heat back up. It's going to sooner or later. Maybe this is the one.
It will. There's no doubt about it. But for me, he broke his maiden for maiden 25.
Yeah.
2 lifetime 12.5.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you belong. That's a lot of times, unless you're really cheating, that's where a maiden 25 breaker breaker needs to go. And we get back on the grass. The 7 is password protected for Anthony Ferrier. Just missing 2 most recent. He puts blinkers on. Look, things need to turn around for this outfit. There's no talk. There's no denying it. But this one does have 2 consecutive good starts.
Yeah, this guy just keeps chugging along. He has to be ridden from the gate. Maybe the blinkers bring a little more focus, a little sharpness. Real quick, Gold Guy, I think, is a horse that's going to improve. Robbie Good, second off of this kind of break. Kind of found himself just out of the race too far last time. You see the comment, belated, go back, check it out. This horse will fire a little bit late at a price, maybe helps that exacta try or super.
Remembering Wilbur, first time off the claim for Rudy Sanchez Solomon. First time on the turf in his last start. Did not run poorly. Not a great result. Only beaten 3.5 lengths. Comes in here with a work. Drops in class. Rudy waited. He waited. He comes in here with a work. Interesting move here from Rudy.
Carlos Lopez, now the rider for Remembering Wilbur. There's not a lot of true speed in here. I know Flashback was in front of him. Flashback might be a little bit better rating. I think it's going to be all systems go for Remembering Wilbur from the outside.
There we go.
Okay.
The very, very interesting 7th race here at Laurel Park. Race 8 is our feature race of the day. This is a 3 other than allowance race, and boy, do we have a nice group of runners here. Take out the 1 who was part of the entry, Mojovation. Take out the 3 spun in 1, but we are still left with a very, very good group of horses. We'll start with your top pick.
Okay.
This is a 16-time winner, Eastern Bay, and we'll also start with the 7, Always in a Hurry. We're going to look at their race from July 10th right here at Laurel Park.
Yeah, pick it up from the top of the stretch going 5.5 and factored in gets the job done this particular afternoon. I think it was a little bit of an upset, right? Getting it done was that Mancia. But Eastern Bay, good effort down to the inside, making a good charge. Always in a Hurry, shifted out. It just makes that one final surge to just miss. He's kind of ramped back up into top shape. Is Always in a Hurry. He might have a little bit more positional speed, I think, than Eastern Bay. Kind of hedging, maybe we might get a little moisture. There's a chance of some rain later in the day. I like the extra ground that Eastern Bay is going to get today. We've got a rider, Walter Rodriguez, shedding a lot of weight here. This rider's had a couple upset wins of late. I think Eastern Bay sustains and keeps on going by. And if it comes up wet, we know what this guy just thrives on and off track.
Yeah, and that 10 pounds can go a long way here. Eastern Bay, always in the back of my mind with Eastern Bay, is getting away from the gate. He's been pretty good lately. Has had a history of not getting away well. Now we've got a guy who hasn't ridden him before. Going to need to be aware of that. Always in a Hurry, I like today. It looks really good. But my top pick is the 1A, Yodel E.A. Who for Jamie Ness. 3rd time for Jamie this afternoon. Big improvement in his last 2. Now, we've seen Jamie bring down these horses from Philly, running lights-out numbers at Parks or even at Delaware, and they haven't been able to convert them to Laurel Park, but does have a sharp work sense. So that's my concern, but I'm going to stick with them.
It just seems like some of these sprints, at Parks, maybe slightly inflated, just a little bit.
There's no doubt.
But he's run against the right kind. He's a different horse right now since the barn change. He was down at Oaklawn, kind of tooling around it. Now he's on his game. out of a key race against the next out winner. I know he wishes a little bit of that speed stayed in.
Sure.
Because he likes to bring that late charge.
Sure.
Yep.
But he gets a good outside draw this afternoon. Race 9 going a mile and 16th is the maiden event. Fillies mares, 3, 4, and 5-year-olds maiden claiming price of $30,000. The 4 is Like an Eagle for Noah Abramson. Forrest Boyce gets the call. Hey, look, it's been hanging around. The last 2 starts been hanging around. Has a nice race 3 starts back on a course rated good.
Yeah, a little trouble out of the gate last time as well. Was caught outside. Just needs to save a little bit ground. I've been chasing Like an Eagle. I think things are going to heat up on the front end with Please Marry Me, Bourbon Gypsy by the time they hit the 3/8 pole, setting things up for this closer. It's been consistent. Just doesn't have that sharp run. Going to need things to fall into place from the 3/8 home. I think it will today. Sullivan Street, a little price user for me. Mary Upper, this horse, as a couple turf routers in the family, I think this horse is going to be all right on the stretch out. Had a little excuse on the turf, on the lone turf try at 5.5. Extra ground might help this one's chances. Comes out of a race at 2-back race. Utterly Courageous has won 2 races out of there.
Yeah,
so
how about Amy, our girl Amy Hall, on fire?
Yeah.
Now let's talk about Bourbon Gypsy, and let's take a look at her most recent races, June 18th, right here at Laurel Park, where she put together a lifetime best race.
Yeah, a solid quarter, a third quarter, I should say, to kind of open things up around the turn. Whew. Gets collared and just is dead game to the wire. A little drifting, though. That was the unfortunate part here for Bourbon Gypsy. And everybody that kind of had Bourbon Gypsy at a big, big price that day. Gogo Chanel got the great trip inside to out to go ahead and get it done. But, man, all the fight with Bourbon Gypsy to the wire. That was sharp effort. I think this horse will engage, Please Marry Me. They will carry that battle. Maybe the 4 gets by.
Yeah, she doesn't know that they took her down. She knows she ran second in a big race. That will
right.
do it for our card. Keith, let's take a look at what you like here today and what you like to get home for a little bit of a price.
A little value. Best bet's going to be Eastern Bay. I think, like I say, hedging, maybe a little bit of moisture shows up late in the day. But irregardless, horse is in good form. He's held form off the claim, gets in light. I think there's enough flow. I wish there was a little bit more that stayed in. I think the extra 16th of a mile is going to help his chances. Value play comes early in the day with Golden Decision. I think we'll like the little bit of give to this turf course for a barn that's done very well. A limited number of runners, but a lot of success for Chucky Lawrence.
We are about 26 minutes away from first race post here at Laurel Park. That's going to do it for Keith and myself. Dave Rodman comes up next with Scratches and Changes.
All right, good luck.